Welcome to Pet Pals. I'm Dee Dee and this is Randy, and we're here at Frederick County Animal Control to show you some animals that we have for adoption this week. And we would like to start off our show with a bang with Champ, a beautiful boxer who is used to kids of all ages, from baby to teenager. And he is a male brindle boxer, quite lovely. He already knows how to sit on command, lie down. He walks on a leash. He's very excited now to see us. But there's one challenge that Champ is facing that's going to be pretty big to come over. He is in great health, but he is 10 years old. And while some dogs that are 10 years old, say a tiny terrier, have 5-7 years left to give, boxers live at the most 13 or 14 years, and sure, there have been 17-year-old boxers in the world, but the real challenge we're going to have to find for Champ is somebody willing to have a lovely, fantastic dog for a short amount of time. And while that is hard on your heart, it certainly is not hard on your schedule.
Please have a kennel tech to the front for a lost cat, a kennel tech to the front for a lost cat, please.
So Champ is interested in getting a new start. He likes everybody. He certainly deserves it, but we are going to have a challenge finding someone with enough love in their heart to take on a 10-year-old boxer. He's got great manners, a beautiful coat, and is in great health. But the challenge is he doesn't have a lot of time left to give. Of course, that has yet to be seen. So challenging it will be for only his age. The rest of him is perfect. He's house trained. He, yes, he already knows what people expect of a family pet. So hopefully we are going to find a generous Frederick or out-of-county citizen willing to take this fantastic dog who has everything to offer but time. So if you think that Champ would make a good match for your family or someone that you know, please come by the shelter and meet him or pass his picture and information around. Oh, good boy. Rowdy is born in 2008, and he is a neutered male Cocker Spaniel and used to other dogs. He is house and crate trained, so a great dog for someone who is interested in having a family pet. One of the things that is happening to our shelter as time goes on is that we are able to help more and more dogs, even dogs that have training problems or challenges, and Rowdy is not one of those dogs. So it's lucky for us to have a dog that comes into the shelter that has everything to offer a family. And Rowdy has family experience. He's young, he's already neutered, he's talkative. What do you want? What do you want? Obviously he knows how to work a sink. So Rowdy is looking for another home. And yes, and for treats that Randy has in his pocket. If you are interested in a dog like Rowdy, a spaniel, or know someone that is, then please come by the shelter and meet him or pass this picture around. See if he'll sit for a treat, because he's already knows his commands. Yeah, you have to show off a little bit. So the animal shelter right now has fewer cats than we normally have for this time of year. And so we will be featuring a bunch of adoptable pets today, primarily dogs, and then some of our smaller animals. But we always have a wish list. So if you have been interested in a purebred dog but haven't seen one at the shelter, we have about 25% of our dogs are purebred, including with their AKC papers if you want those. And Rowdy is one of those dogs, a purebred Cocker Spaniel, looking for a home. So if you are interested, please let us know.
You're not showing your face. You got some nice hairdo.
We are back with Puppy. Puppy is a Pomeranian Chihuahua mix who is about 5.5 years old. He is a neutered male and was given up because his family had to move. And what is hard for us here at the shelter is, of course, every day we hear stories that people cannot maintain their pets. They're not able to keep them either because veterinary bills can be cumbersome, because they're moving to a place that doesn't allow pets, or even in many cases in this economy, people have actually lost their homes for financial reasons and are forced to move in with family that doesn't have room for a pet, or to take a no pets building lease. So it's been a bad year for dogs and cats alike because of the economy and because of hard times for people. This little guy is used to living in a family, so he has a lot of experience. And a lot of people come in and tell us that they don't expect to find small dogs in the shelter. They don't expect to find purebred dogs in the shelter. And what I would encourage everyone is that it is not the case that we don't have these dogs. It's just that we post our pictures every week, and we do this TV show every week. And dogs sometimes come in on a Tuesday. They are adopted on Thursday and go home Friday afternoon. So you never see them in the shelter. So I would definitely recommend that you consider our wish list option, but more importantly, come by the shelter as often as you can. Send friends in to look for you. They can take cell phone pictures of dogs they think you might like, to try and find the pet that is right for your family. We get about 6,000 animals every year, and surely in that selection, there's going to be one that's a good match for you if you're looking. The other great news is that shelters used to be responsible for about 12% of the new pets into families, and now we are responsible for 30%. So one of three of you is coming to the shelter first, and we are grateful for that. But that makes it a little bit harder to get the dog or cat of your dreams at the shelter because there's some competition. So what I would tell you is hurry in, find the one you want, because this one's perfect. If you like him, or if you know someone who will, then come on to the shelter or send his picture around. We are back with Prada, a 1-year-old Akita who is quite lovely. One thing about purebred Akitas is that the males and females are quite different in size. So Prada is at about 95% of her full adult size, and you may have seen male Akitas are much larger. So Prada is a handful right now because she's 1, but as you can see, she sits on command most of the time, especially if you have a treat, and she is going to be quite a lovely dog. One of the things we went ahead and did for her, because Akitas are very strong dogs and very smart dogs, is we had someone from Akita Rescue come and evaluate her. And what that means is that they came and handled her in various ways to see if she'll tolerate having her nails cut, if you can give her food and take the food away. So these are things that this breed, you must know about this breed before you get them. So we are going to be very careful about who adopts her to hope for the best success for her. And what we are really looking for is someone who's had Akitas before, or German Shepherds, possibly Chows, Korean Jindos. The Spitz-type large guard dogs is what we're looking for, someone who knows what they're all about. One dog trainer said about them, alert, suspicious, and quick to act. What could go wrong? So it's something you really need to think about if you're going to get a guard dog. How would you handle this dog at the front door if she decides that there's some kind of danger? We definitely recommend puppy classes and a lot of patience on your part, because she's a big girl and she's very smart and she's going to need work to do so that she can fit in nicely to a home. Again, she is a year old, has been evaluated by Akita Rescue, which anyone interested in her can see that evaluation. And we are hoping to find her a new home with someone who has experience with Akitas or large breeds of guard dogs. If you are interested in her or know someone who would be right for her, consider coming by the shelter or passing her a picture around. Our next guest is Lucky. And Lucky is a Parsons Russell Terrier, formerly known as a Jack Russell Terrier. They come in smooth coat or wire hair. Most people are pretty familiar with them. And I just realized that we have had all purebred dogs on the show today except for Puppy the Pom Mix. So that's pretty typical at the shelter. People don't expect that, but it is that whatever is popular within the community is going to be the same population seen in the shelter of that community. So Lucky was born in 2007. He is a male Jack Russell Terrier, previously owned. He also has his AKC papers if you are interested in having a dog with papers. One of the things people often don't know about dogs with papers are that all it means is it's a birth certificate that says the owner of his mother knew who his father was. That's all the papers are. And what they're very good for is if you know a lot about genetics and you want to balance the female and male's genetics to create temperamentally and physically healthy puppies, you would need to know that information. But for shelter dogs that are spayed and neutered when they're adopted, I don't think the papers are of value, but it is fun to look up the parents of your dog online, see pictures, find out about the breeding program. So we do have that if you are interested in that. Lucky is looking for a new home. He has done pretty well in the shelter. He's a pretty outgoing dog, seems to like other dogs. And there are rabbits just off camera, which he is not paying any interest to, which is a good thing for a terrier because some terriers can be pretty driven by their need to chase small animals or interest in small animals. So it bodes well for Lucky that he could coexist with other small animals if needed. If you think that Lucky is a good match for your family or someone that you know, please consider coming by the shelter or passing his picture around. He certainly does like attention, and we would very much like to find him a family of his own as soon as possible. We have high turnover in the shelter, and what that means is though we get 6,000 animals per year, we like to see dogs getting out of here within a week, which we are usually able to do. Once in a blue moon, they stay here a little longer, and then of course you see them here on TV, and we try our best to find good placements for them. So we will be back in a few minutes with more adoptable animals from the shelter, and hopefully we will find your match here at Frederick County Animal Shelter. Hope you'll join us in a minute. Exciting, yes, exciting.
If you're 55 or older and looking for a way to get moving and strengthen your body, then join the Frederick Senior Center for its strength training class. This class is offered daily and no pre-registration is required. For just $2 a class, you can develop strength, flexibility, balance, and coordination. Strength training also increases your metabolism, which can help control weight gain and help lower your blood pressure. So stop thinking about it and start exercising today. Classes are offered at the Frederick Senior Center, located at 1440 Taney Avenue in Frederick. For more information and class schedules, call 301-600-1605.
Before, addiction and depression kept me from living my life. And now, every step I take in recovery benefits everyone. There are many options that make the road to recovery more accessible. It begins with the first step. Join the Voices for Recovery. For information and treatment referral for you or someone you love, call 1-800-662-HELP. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
We are back with more adoptable animals at Frederick County Animal Control. Many people don't know that we have animals other than dogs and cats, but we do. Everything that people might adopt as a pet and then decide that they can no longer or will no longer care for can end up in Frederick County Animal Shelter. Many shelters have policies about not taking animals other than dogs, and some shelters have policies about not taking birds, but at Frederick County Animal Control we take any domesticated animal that is unwanted. What we try to do is place them in rescue groups as soon as possible. But rescue groups have the same problems we do, filling up. And most rescue groups are what's known as no-kill. And what that means is they don't take any more animals than they can house at the moment. So if you have a rabbit that you can no longer care for, it's possible to call House Rabbit Society and have them say, we're full, we can't help you. So the animal shelter is the next step. What we have right here is Cadbury, a mini Rex. He is an adult male bunny. He's not going to get any larger than this. And many people did expect that after Easter, we would have an influx of rabbits, and that did come true. Many times people are caught up in the spur of the moment pet purchase. And what that means is you think about Easter and the bunnies and the chicks and how cute it would be to bring one home for the kids, and they would be so excited. And yes, that's true. But children should not have to give up their pets over being forgetful, and they will be. So we recommend that parents are part of the pet owning process and that they consider that they're going to have to help with the animal care. Bunnies are no easier to take care of than dogs and cats, just completely different. You don't have to walk a rabbit around the block, but you certainly can buy a harness for your bunny and teach the bunny to tolerate that in a safe backyard where you're with him. Bunnies love to go outside and eat the vegetation as long as it's not sprayed with any bug spray. There is also a great website called Busy Bunny where you can find very specially made toys for rabbits. Of course, you can make your own, like we do here at the shelter. We have generous volunteers who regularly bring us cardboard tubes and pine cones and things that bunnies like to play with, which we use to enrich their lives here in the shelter, because living in a cage, they are restricted from getting the full exercise that they should really get. So we have some lovely volunteers that come in on the weekend and set up X-Pens and let them run around. We even have the same volunteers, Kim and Casey, have planted a rabbit garden outside of the shelter with kale and parsley and some other plants that rabbits like to have. So while the rabbits have it pretty good here, we definitely want them to get, each of them, to get their own individual family. If you already have a rabbit, you might be thinking about getting a friend for your rabbit. You should know that rabbits are picky about roommates. So Kim and Casey, who are here on Saturday, can help you with a process they call bonding, introducing the rabbits slowly so that they can be friends and so they can share some space. But if you have two rabbits, you may in fact always have to have two separate cages to maintain them throughout their lives, although they may enjoy social time together. So if you've been thinking about a rabbit, consider checking out the animal shelter first. And in Cadbury's case, he was very shy when he came into the shelter, and now is much more used to being handled. So he is well on his way to making somebody a really nice pet. We are back with Ebony. Ebony is another mini Rex. Ebony is a little tinier than Cadbury, and I know what you're thinking. That's the same rabbit. It really is a different rabbit. He just looks very much the same. He is much more outgoing, much more interested in being handled than Cadbury. And Ebony is used to kids of all ages, and he was purchased at Today's Pet. So we know a little bit more about him, which you are welcome to check out if you come in to meet him. And he definitely enjoys our rabbit garden. He is used to the fact now that if he hears the back door open, that some parsley will be coming his way, which he loves very much. So if you are interested in adopting a bunny and you have children at home who would like to be able to handle the rabbit right away, then Ebony is going to be the bunny for you, because he has already been taught that people are exciting and bring him gifts, and that children are interesting. The one thing you do have to be careful about with rabbits is that they get enough appropriate exercise outside of the cage if they're going to be handled by children, because rabbits are prey animals. They do believe that when they are being grabbed, it's possible that someone is going to eat them. So sometimes they panic, and if they panic and they're not fit and exercise, they can actually hurt themselves trying to get away from the situation at hand. So you definitely want to let us show your kids how to pick the bunny up, how to sit with the bunny, how to handle the bunny. Unless you have rabbit experience and you already know how to do that, then you will be all set. Ebony is a great little rabbit, and he is ready to go to his new life as soon as possible. So if you are interested, please let us know. This is Ray J. Ray J is a New Zealand rabbit, and you may notice her prominent fold of skin under her chin. That's called a dewlap, and mother bunnies have that so that they can pull out some hair to line their nest, and also their babies crawl up under there and stay warm and protected. So that is one way that you can tell mature males from mature females, is it's much more likely for the female to have a very noticeable dewlap. But when we adopt out rabbits from the shelter, we spay or neuter them for you before you take them home. And the reason this is great is, well, there's several reasons. Number one is that you can have more than one rabbit without worrying about them reproducing. Number two is female rabbits, even though Ray J is very mellow, lets us all touch her, she is fantastic temperament, spaying helps to keep a female rabbit's mood more stable. Female rabbits, when they are thinking about reproducing, can be very crabby about having their cage intruded upon. So we definitely recommend for pet rabbits to be spayed and neutered. And we have a local vet who is willing to help us out with that. One of the things about spaying and neutering rabbits is that it's a little harder on the rabbit than spaying and neutering of dogs and cats, because they are prey animals. Stress hormones that result from surgery can be a little risky for them. So they definitely need some aftercare at the vet before they go home with you. And it's nice that we do that before you even take them home, so you don't have to worry about that. If you are interested in a rabbit pet and you have kids, then Ray J is definitely suitable to having a lot of handlers. She is a very mellow, outgoing, fantastically temperamented rabbit. One of the things that people often ask about is their pink eyes. All that means is that Ray J was born without melanin, which is a pigment that causes dark eyes or dark pupils or dark patches on her skin. She doesn't have any, so she's all white and has pink eyes, which a lot of people find to be very lovely in appearance, but she does have the personality to go with it. She's just delightful. If you think that Ray J would make a good match for you, then come by, check her out, or pass her picture around. We are back with S'mores. S'mores is a female mouse who also has the same albino genetic characteristics that our last bunny had. She has pink eyes, white fur, no pigment on her whatsoever. And amazingly, she and our next guest were found at an apartment complex just wandering around. So chances are that someone moved out and left their mice in their apartment and they escaped. What is a question that we have, we don't know where they came from or what apartment, but either they escaped from their cage, which is lucky for them, because when left behind they run out of water quickly and that will quickly kill a mouse. But more importantly, if someone just let them loose in hopes that they would find a home, then luckily someone spotted them and brought them in. But that is so risky to do because of all of the things that can happen to them. These animals were bred in captivity. They're made to be pets. They do not survive in the wild. So they ran up to some of the first people they saw and they were rescued, and those people brought them into the shelter. And one of the nice things about mice for pets is that they're interesting to watch. So if you have kids that are interested in perhaps a first pet, you can get a larger aquarium, fill it with Carefresh bedding, and the mice will build tunnels against the glass wall. They will make it pretty interesting in there. We don't recommend smaller aquariums for mice because the moisture that's held inside the aquarium, if it's tight spaces, isn't good for the mice. In that case, you would want to, if you want a smaller cage, you need to get a cage with bars specifically spaced for the tininess of a mouse. Because the other thing is, mice are great at escaping from small spaces. As small as they are, they can fit through cracks and openings that you would never imagine. So it's very important to get a properly suited mouse habitat if you decide to adopt one of these pets. And as you can see, Randy's having a great time. The fun of having mice also is the little houses that you can buy, all of the toys that they play with. They really are fun to watch, and they make a nice first pet. If you are ready for the responsibility, or you think that your child is ready, know that you will be helping out, but mice can be a nice introduction to pet ownership and responsibility. We are back with Marshmallow, and Marshmallow is an adult male mouse found at the same apartment complex as S'mores. We don't know if they knew each other, but chances are that they may have. And Marshmallow has an aquarium set up temporarily for him. This would not be the ideal long-term situation for a mouse. The bedding is Carefresh. He has a wheel to run in, water bottle, and treats. But what you might not see in there, because the Carefresh is obscuring it, but this is the food that mice eat. It's called Lab Lox, and it's similar to dog food kibble. And the reason for giving them that is that they need a complete and balanced diet. And obviously mice can have lots of treats. There are some treats in there in the form of seeds. But often when people go to a pet store and buy a bag of mouse seed, they think that they are buying mouse food. Marshmallow is available for adoption. And what we ask for anyone who adopts a small animal is it's a $5 to $10 donation for adoption, but obviously you're going to have to buy the appropriate cage and toys and housing unit for the mouse to spend his time in. And again, they make a great first pet if you are interested in going that way for your kids, trying out a pet to see if they're ready for a pet that requires a little more hands-on care. And if you think that a mouse is in your future, sometimes classrooms adopt mice. So if you know of a teacher who has a plan for school vacations and whatnot, that's also an option for Marshmallow. Then give us a call, let us know, and we'll try to place Marshmallow in a good permanent home so he can enjoy his life. We are back with a beautiful calico cat named Kitty. And Kitty was given up to a friend of her owners when her owners could no longer keep her, and they kept her for 3 years until allergies made them bring her to us. So we don't actually know how old Kitty is, but we estimate she could be 9 years old or 10. And since cats live sometimes twice that, and she has a lovely coat and is in great condition, she could be younger, but we're judging by her teeth. And one of the things that happens as animals age, also with people, is that depending on the food they ate and the care they received, their teeth are not the most reliable way to age an older animal. Very easy when they're young. So we've made an estimate of 9 to 10 years old, and we think that that's to prepare you for the fact that she's a middle-aged kitty. But she has plenty of energy, she's in great shape, and she's very outgoing. And we have enjoyed having her here, but of course our goal is always to find them a permanent home where they can be out and about and experience all of the things that domesticated animals are developed to do. Being companions, having affection, and having food brought to them on a regular basis. So if you are interested in a lovely calico cat, then I hope that you will consider coming in and meeting her. And don't forget, we are open Wednesdays and Thursdays late. And every week we have another episode of Pet Pals. If you would like to see previous episodes, check out the website below. And remember that not all of our animals get to be on the TV show. So if you have not seen the pet of your dreams, please consider our wish list and coming by the shelter 1832 Rosemont in person to see what we have this week. Thanks for joining us. I hope you'll be back again.